All right, we're here with Tim Talk. It is May 21st. We're here with Shirley Spencer. Shirley is our administrative assistant. Kind of, I mean, you keep the place going. You're the kind of engine behind all the stuff we do, and thought it's important for people to get to know you. So tell us about Shirley Spencer. What do you love? What gets you up in the morning?
Hmm. Well, I guess family,
Yeah,
primary, and I'm music, and I like to paint a bit.
yeah.
And yeah, basically that's the three things that keep me going. And I do work here at St. Paul's 4 days a week.
40. That's great.
Yeah.
And family. You have two children,
Yes, I do.
and
Yes, I do.
you you want to talk. It's hard with kids, isn't it? It's hard to talk about them because we don't want to embarrass them.
Yeah, Mother's Day is my favorite day of the year. Becoming a mother wasn't as easy for me as for some people. My two children came to me through the amazing world of international adoption.
Mm,
So yeah, they came from Colombia, two separate adoptions, and the greatest gifts and the biggest miracle of my life.
wonderful. And and your mom is important in your life too, and she is a constant. She's a sort of new virtual parishioner of St. Paul's. She was involved at St. Paul's Greenfield Park. What's she up to now? How does?
Well, my mom moved from Greenfield Park to St. Armand to live with my sister. So geographically, it's just too difficult for her to go back to St. Paul's in Greenfield Park. And when she realized that St. Paul's was offering virtual services, she jumped on board and watched for a while. And now she's seems to be very active. She's
Yeah,
what
that's right. She was
really.
very active at St. Paul's Greenfield Park, and now she's very virtually active. She's always sort of responding, and it's great.
I think the outreach, especially for people right now during the situation that are shut in, it really offers them a connection that they've lost somehow.
Mm,
So it's terrific.
That's that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out how we reach out to as many people as possible. That's kind of our mission statement, and this is just exploded. And you have is it you can describe it better, and sort of you've been through online business training, or?
Yes, I took some courses in online marketing,
Mhm.
primarily through Facebook advertising. So we've been trying to use that a little bit to get St. Paul's out there in the virtual world, especially again, given the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. It's been interesting. It's a learning curve for me too,
Mm.
to see, you know, how this all works and to use the training that I took part in.
Yeah, it's so helpful. I was thinking, as you use that term, curve. We
Mhm.
want to. Everybody's saying flatten the curve, but the
Yeah.
learning curve has just been going through the roof, and we hope we can figure out how to keep that going because it seems to be a really helpful for people. So how do we keep moving is always our question. How do we take what's good and make it better? Now, so your online business,
Mhm.
let's give that a plug.
Well, to be honest, I'm not doing much of it right now. I'm kind of
Okay.
focusing more on my music.
Yeah.
I basically got into this training just to be able to promote, whether
Hmm.
it be I'm working on a CD, so maybe in the future or something like that, or it was the marketing aspect that I really wanted to learn. So, but right now I put it kind of on hiatus so
Yeah.
that I work on other things. It just became too much with
Yeah.
working full time and music and everything else. So
Yeah. Tell us a bit about your music. That's a big part of your life.
it is. I probably sang before I talked. My
Mm.
mom says that for sure. And growing up, it was just my greatest passion. It still is. And about 7 years, no, more than that, about 15 years ago, I met Arnie Davis, and he is basically a bit of a legend around here. He has recorded and done his own CDs, and very much inspired me to start promoting my own songs. So I've been fortunate enough to have Morris Singfield step up and offer to produce this CD. It's a work in progress. It's a work of love. And it's going to take time, but it's, again, another learning curve for me.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it an awful lot. I'm very fortunate.
So tell us a little bit about the CD. What kind of music? What do you love? What are you into? What does it sound like? What does the CD sound like?
My two greatest influences in music are Leonard Cohen and John Prine. Very different writers. One very poetic and one very much about life experience. My CD, I think it will be about life experience. So it's very hard to explain. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
You know? I like every different type of style. And I think that's might be represented as I go forward, because I have one that's sort of bluesy. I have one that's country. I have one sort of Cajun. So I'm just kind of exploring right now. And yeah, it's interesting.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. I think so. I hope so.
And your work in progress, painting.
Yes, that I turned 50. I went to a store. I went to Winners, and I was looking for a large painting, and I saw one there, and I thought, no, I'm not paying that price. I could probably do that myself. And I went home and I tried, and became an obsession. I couldn't stop.
Wow.
Yeah, with acrylics. So I'm not a trained painter in any way, shape, or form. I put on music, and 75% of the time I have no idea what's going to show up on the canvas. I do it for the sheer love and enjoyment of it.
Oh, that's exciting. That's great. And
yeah,
yep.
It kind of all ties in.
It does.
The music. Yeah, it does.
And so you're someone who is continually learning.
Yes, I think otherwise, for me, I'm restless. I'm a restless person. I like to learn new things. And especially in these times, I'm finding it difficult because I always like to see the big picture. And none of us can see that right now, right? We're just kind of going day by day. So, yeah, so dealing with that. But yeah, I like to change and try new things.
That's great. That's great. It's inspiring, I think. That's great. Now, you always tell me, people always ask you, really, you work at a church? Is it still open? Or, I think there are you've told me lots of responses, maybe. So how do you answer that question? What do you do at a church these days?
They truly think that church is just on Sundays, and that you only work one day a week, Tim.
Yes.
So far from the truth. Yeah, so far from the truth. So I just basically explained that church is church, and yes, there's a spiritual aspect of church, but it still has to keep running, in the background. There's still administrative work to do, bookkeeping, all those things. And I kind of grew into the job because when I first started, I was only working 10 hours a week. And then as things grew, I just took on more responsibilities. So yeah, there's enough to do.
Yes. Yes. And one of the things that you were responsible for was Messy Church. And that was, you want to talk a little bit about how we did Messy Church? And that was, because that was your baby. That was.
Yes, I really enjoyed that. That was to have families get together once a month, and we would have a dinner, some worship time, short worship time, and arts and crafts, which again ties into what I love to do, the painting and creative process. So we had a good team of volunteers, and we started it off, and it did quite well for several years. Years, I think it was, if not 3. Anyway, so yeah, it went very well, and people, the rule was a child has to come with an adult, but an adult doesn't have to come with a child. So that way we could reach out to seniors, and they could bring their grandchildren or not. And basically it was to have families be together, to have that community feeling, and also to have it's a church. It is church, but
Yeah.
just a different way of doing church.
Yeah, it was, and food, boy, we had some good food.
Yes, thanks to our people in the kitchen. Yes, we had really nice meals.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Forgot about the food. How could I forget about the food?
Yeah, that was. I'm remembering the hot dogs and the Michigans and the
Tacos. Yeah.
taco. Oh, I'm getting hungry now.
Yes.
And you sing as well with our praise group on Sunday mornings.
Yes, I do.
With
yes, I do. I enjoy that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you are the one who's responsible for putting stuff in the computer too, for our virtual services, but also on Sunday morning you get that going, and
Mm-hmm.
that's great. So what how do we wrap this up? How do we
That's the question.
what could you tell somebody about St. Paul's that they might not already know?
I mean, I feel that St. Paul's walks the walk. We're here for everybody. I like the fact that it is respectful. The traditional form of worship is respected, and that's at 8 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, it's a contemporary. So there's really something for everybody. And personally, I'm a seeker. I know that I am. I'm constantly seeking to learn new things. And before coming to St. Paul's, I had looked at other religions, and I just feel that it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. There's something here for you. How I feel.
Well, that's a great way to sort of wrap things up. Thank you. That's really helpful. That's because I think that's what I hope our church is trying to do and be. We're trying to kind of we don't expect people to be at the same place in their spiritual journey and their spiritual seeking. We try to encourage people where they are to take whatever the next step is.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, Shirley. Much appreciated.
Okay, no problem. It is a gorgeous day.
Oh, it is gorgeous, isn't it? Now I got to figure out how I'll stop. We'll stop recording, and
Okay.
thank you for being on Tim Talk.
Thank you for having me.
All right.